Hello to all my fellow empowered, targeted individuals, innocent people under attack. I wanted to talk to you briefly about something I don't really hear a lot of TIs talk about. I am getting hit with directed energy weapons, and now I am electronically sensitive to other people's cell phones in public places, and it's become quite a nuisance. I still don't have something to protect my head with. I have shielding that I normally cover up with when I'm indoors, like Reflectix. Some of you can probably get this at the hardware store. Reflectix, it helps a great deal. If you're not covered completely and there's holes and gaps and spaces in between, you still will feel the effects of the attacks, the electromagnetic assaults. However, if you can find a way to completely seal the place where you sleep with several layers of this, according to Dr. Horton, I believe, and Karen Stewart, I believe you need 12 layers. So I think 6 and you double it, or depending on how wide your space is, whatever it takes to get to 12 layers. Start with whatever you can work with, and then add on, as you're able to, until you can get at least 12 layers. And that's a lot, but it's worth it. I didn't really have the opportunity to do that. Been looking into some other things. Unfortunately, I'm on information overload, so I cannot think of what I want to tell you right now. If I do, I will post it in the comments, and possibly, because I don't think there's any way to edit the description once the video is uploaded, but perhaps I'll try and find the information first, then upload the video so I can put the information in the description. That would make more sense. Anyway, I just wanted to encourage you guys. I've been wanting to make videos, not quite knowing how to approach it, because I've had so many obstacles to making videos, first of all. But also, there's just so much I want to say, and a lot that I'm dealing with. I just want to encourage you once again and let you know that you're not alone. Those of you who are dealing with voice to skull, and it's really bad, I cannot imagine what that's like. I wouldn't want to know. And I think because I'm dealing with private contractors and people who are attacking me, or people that know me, probably they don't want to talk to me because I'll be able to figure out who they are. So I don't know, but it's amazing. A lot of people seem to know who their attackers are, which is to me remarkable. But I guess depending on how large your circles are, how small your circles are, you might be able to narrow it down pretty quickly and figure out who's behind it. For me, I had so many different enemies it took me a while to figure out possible people. To say that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I can't say that. What I can say is I do have enough information to identify by name people who are participating in smear campaign um, online and possibly in other ways. Those people happen to be members of a former church. One of them is also my former pastor. Definitely involved. And all the people who are acting strange toward me, they're all from that same church that we all went to together many years ago. So, either someone who orchestrated the mess contacted these individuals, or someone from that circle contacted other people from that same circle. So, that much I know. The other stuff is going to take a minute because I got so many different people attacking me from so many different angles and for so many different reasons. It's just amazing that they would give this kind of power to people who are not worth crap, who are not very upstanding citizens, and now they're criminals. So, it makes me mad when I think about the advantages that they have over us, how they've been given access to our lives, and some of them have had access to our lives for far too freaking long. And for me to just be putting the pieces together over the last 9 years, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but I don't think it's a good thing. I'm glad that I'm not still in the dark. And for those of you who are just now figuring out that something's going on in your life and it's not quite right, I just want to encourage you. I don't know what you're feeling, and I don't know how hard it is for you to get through each day, but I do want you to be encouraged and know that you're not alone. I do want you to try and be strong and try and ignore as much of the harassment that you may be dealing with daily as you possibly can. Try and stay connected to as many people and places and activities as you possibly can. A lot of times, most of us are isolated for a very long period of time. I refused to stay isolated. I went to some meetup groups. They do send perps to the meetups. They send perps everywhere. They send them to the movie theaters. They send them to the restaurants. I don't care. They send them to the ball games, the arenas, no matter where you go. They do send people there. That's fine. Follow me and listen. I'm not afraid of these people. I take pictures of them when they're photographing me, when they're aiming their phones at me. If I start feeling pain, listen, you're going on the perp reel, and I am going to videotape you or photograph you or both. And I am confrontational. I'm not afraid of these people. As far as I'm concerned, they're a bunch of cowards, they're a bunch of punks, and they are the lowest of society, which is why they're being paid to do this. Nobody that has any degree of character or integrity would participate in these activities, okay? And I don't care how much money you offer me, I would not be participating in this to harm anyone, not even people who have harmed me. It's not worth it. It's not worth my soul. It's not worth my character. It's not worth my integrity. It's not worth anything great about me, my virtue. It's not worth it. But these people are just clearly they clearly have not much going on. They don't have a lot going on in terms of skills and gifts and talents and abilities to provide for themselves, I guess. I mean, you've got to be pretty desperate to live where I live especially since I'm not allowed to live where I want to live. I'm not in places of my own choosing. I'm being in places that I'm set up to live in, and the places are decked out with perps upstairs, downstairs, and all around. And the housing is just not the best. The living conditions are crummy. So to agree to live in these type of circumstances under these conditions, so you can harass me, so you can get a little gift card. Yeah, I kind of got a feeling you don't have much going on in your life. So those of you who are experiencing this now and you're just now beginning to figure out somebody's coming after me and this is intentional, this is not in my mind, it's not a coincidence. Somebody's orchestrating events intentionally to upset me, to harm me, to traumatize me, to push my buttons. Listen, it's real. But you are not alone, and you can get through this. You can survive this. So just be tough. Hang in there. Reach out. Don't give up. Don't stay isolated. Don't stay in a state of obsession thinking about everything that they're doing. Don't allow yourself to become so paranoid that everywhere you go you're looking over your shoulders, and everywhere you go you think someone's following you. Listen, try and live your life with as much normalcy as you possibly can. Ignore these fools. Ignore these creatures because they can't possibly be human. Okay? I want you to keep your head up. I want you to be creative and inventive and find ways to amuse yourself. If it's music, if it's going for walks on the beach, and as much as you can do that, do that. If it's connecting with a neighbor and working out or jogging, maybe you have a pet. I know that some pets are being harmed also in this program, and I'm so sorry for those of you who have experienced that. Try and connect with other animals. Maybe go visit some animals or volunteer at a hospital if you can, and coddle babies who are premature and who need someone to hold them during the day. Whatever is going to give you sanity and give you purpose and help you connect to other human beings and help you bring happiness into someone else's life and get your mind off of some of your own pain and struggle, find a way to do it, and don't stop ever. Document everything that you possibly can, and don't allow these empty vessels, because they're not worth much at all. Don't allow them to destroy your spirit. Don't allow them to break you. Don't allow them to destroy your morality. Maintain the strength of who you are. Maintain the good that is in you. Don't turn into one of them. Don't become like one of them. The reason why you're in this program is because you're not like one of them. You're unique. You have special qualities. And the most important thing is you have what it takes to survive everything they throw at you. Try to educate yourself as much as you can. There's tons of misinformation, and there's no way to make sense of all of what might be accurate and what isn't. But for what you can understand to be true, what you can understand to be accurate, apply it to your life, apply it to your situation. Protect yourself and guard yourself as much as you can. Fight back. But don't allow these people and their behavior, their activities to consume you. Okay? Because you have what it takes to be victorious. You have what it takes to laugh in their faces. You have what it takes to overcome. And I just want to recommend you to another YouTuber. His name is Aristotle, and his page is called The Initiated. Please go to his page. He usually sends He usually posts his email in the descriptions of his videos. Contact him and ask him for the prayers. There are prayers that he has constructed based on research to break soul contracts. And these prayers are very powerful. And I have started praying these prayers, and I haven't written mine out yet, but I'm going to write them out and edit them and adjust it to my life and apply it to my life as God reveals to me how I should reword it to suit my situation. But since I've started doing these prayers, the directed energy attacks have tremendously diminished. They haven't completely ended, but a lot of the activity that I was dealing with on a daily basis around the clock, it's not like it was. Yes, they're still following me to the bathroom. Yes, they're still harassing me. I went to an event last week with my daughter and some friends from her school. They were dancing. Other children were there and they were dancing. And my purse was in the seat next to me was an empty seat. And once it got a lot crowded and my daughter had put her stuff on over it so you couldn't see the bag, and the back of the seat was open. There were people sitting behind us at some point, and they went into my bag. And how I know this is, at a certain point I went to reach for my bag and I noticed it was buried under my daughter's things and that it was sticking out the open area of the chair. And so I reached over and the zipper pocket was open. And I was so upset. I was like, oh my God, because I didn't even know what I put in there before I left, because I just put a lot of random things in there because normally people don't get to my bag because I'm very watchful. But this particular day, I was the first person to arrive, so there wasn't anybody behind me for most of the time that I was there. And so once I got involved with the children dancing and performing, I just didn't think about it because it was right next to me. But anyways, I had some covered toothpicks. They were covered in plastic, and they were in the bag with some, what do you call these things? These carpet cutters, I call them. I used these for work. I'm not there anymore. I was harassed there too. I had 2 of these in there and some change and a couple of other items. I don't remember what. I don't know if I had anything else that was important there. One of the people that was there, she was sitting on the other side earlier in the show. And later on, she's sitting directly behind me, and she had a little purse on her lap at that time. She didn't have a purse when I first saw her on her lap when she was sitting on the other side. Then the guy was with her. He was sitting directly behind me, and he had his legs open, and he was like right behind my head. So when I turned around, his knees were like practically on either side of my head until I turned around, and I looked at him, like what are you doing? And he pretends that he's so shocked that he was right up on me. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Turns out these 2 idiots were together. I ended up running into them later at the subway as, when the situation was over with and we were all leaving. And I wish to God I had got photos of them, but I got one of them on video. So, I didn't know that the toothpicks were tampered with until I got back here. And I emptied my bag, and I was, I had checked everything to make sure that I had my debit cards or whatever. Everything was there. Everything was accounted for that I could think of that was important to me. I don't know how much change I had in there, but I don't think they actually took anything of as far as the change. And this is one of the things that they do. They mess with you because they can't, take your money, because I can call the cops and report it, And if the right cops come, then they're going to have to face charges. So they have to be very clever about the foolish things that they do. But when I emptied my purse, I saw the toothpicks and I noticed that the plastic was off of them. I had 4 of them at least. And all of the plastic was removed from each one of them. That's when I knew, okay, yeah, they were definitely in my purse, and this is what these assholes did. Um, I'm just thankful that they didn't take anything that I am aware of that's important or serious that I need. I pray they didn't take anything with a photo or identifying me. I don't think they have. Um, but in any event, I'm just not worried about it. I'm not afraid of them. I don't care what these raggedy people do. They're committing more crimes, and they're just giving me more to document and more to back up, my story. So when I decide to go forward with whatever actions I decide to take, then I have something substantial to fight with. And I'm just so glad that I have some videos so I can identify the little heifer. I don't have any images of her boyfriend or brother or whoever he was, but I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to figure out who he was. But anyways, these are the type of things that, we deal with. But I go out to dances, I go take classes, I go to many webinars, seminars, and events, and usually it's nobody there in the beginning, and then when I start getting pain in my head, I know somebody's aiming their phone at me, usually toward, the middle or the end. But for the most part, I'm still there. I get the information, I network with people, and I keep moving forward. Don't allow these idiots to stop you from having goals, from pressing forward for the things that you want. Don't give up hope. Don't walk around thinking it's never going to end, you can't get out of it. Don't think like that. Think positive. Believe that you can get out of it. Believe that you will. And don't stop smiling. Don't stop laughing. If you dance, don't stop dancing. If you sing, don't stop singing. Find something that you enjoy and never, ever give it up. Okay? I love you, and I wish you all well.